Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mission for Mental Health. I'm your host, Jackie Robinson. You know what? It has been a while. Y'all, since I've been on here. And so, I got to get back on this. I realized that I have been spending a lot of time working and not tending to the business that God gave me, the vision that He gave me, and the process that He gave me. I noticed that I have been neglecting it, and because I've been neglecting it, things are just not going the way I was hoping that they would go. So I was like, you know what? God gave me a platform, and He gave me a vision, and I needed to follow through with it. So, I was not able to grab a guest for tonight, and that is okay because I am just jumping back on. So, I hope that you all can tune in. I hope that the information that I'm going to share with you all this evening is helpful and touches you in some sort of way. That will be great. But I've been having conversations with people. So even though I have not been going live, I still have been tending to my I still talk about mental health. I still just have these conversations with people and things like that. And yeah, so I'm still communicating. I haven't completely shut everything down, but I still talk to folks. And so recently I was having a conversation. Well, this happens to me all the time. People say, did you ever see any signs that your daughter was suffering from mental health? And I would always say, no. And I would talk about what led into the spiral, but I never would really talk about anything that happened to her as a child because I just really didn't. Y'all know, excuse me for being, being a little, I'm sorry. I'm not being rude, but I just had to notify. There you go. Sorry about that. Make sure this phone ain't ringing, and y'all know how it is. But I hadn't really noticed or thought about her behavior as a child, and did that play any part as to what happened to her as an adult? And I would, when people would ask me, I would say no, and I would tell the story about, I was sending her off to college, and I noticed that she started acting a little different and things like that. And but what happened was someone asked me to ask me if I wanted to be featured in their magazine. And so I said yes, that I was willing to be featured in their magazine and share my story. And they asked me for a bio. So I just gave them a nice little bio about myself. And then they called me and we had a more in-depth conversation.
And then they said, we are going to, um, we want you to write out your story. So I was like, okay, so I was like, how far do I go back with this thing? I don't really know. What should I do? So I just started to brainstorm. And I guess that's why therapists say stuff like journal. You need to journal. Um, because as I was writing, I was reflecting and I started thinking about, oh my God, there were some signs that were there. I just really didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know that I was dealing with a child with that could possibly have mental health. That it was like not in my radar. What was in my radar was this girl bad. Lord have mercy, this girl's so doggone bad. Ooh, this girl is bad. That's what was on my radar, not mental health. And I guess because back then we really didn't have the knowledge like we do now. We didn't talk about it as much as we do now. And so when I was asked to write that article, I started realizing, okay, there were signs. I just didn't know what they were. And I was also talking to a girlfriend a couple days ago. And she was telling, we were just discussing, um, she has a child who has mental health and mental illness, and we were discussing the signs, and our signs are extremely similar. So I was like, well, darn, people do ask me all the time, so maybe I should come on and talk about it a little bit more, and share with you all maybe some of my experiences that I had. These things tight. Ooh, oh, share with you all some of the experiences that I had, and maybe that will give you some nuggets just in case if you're going through some of the things with your kids that I was going through with mine. Maybe that can maybe give you an opportunity to address mental health earlier on than me. So what I will say is when India was a baby, she was a great baby. Like I had no issues with her as a baby. She was very cute. She knew she was cute. She was sassy. She was easy to potty train. She was easy. She was a simple baby, and I guess because she had siblings right after her, which were twins, she kind of grew up a little bit faster. So she really was not a problem as a baby. She wasn't a problem as a baby. Um, but she didn't cry. But she was also, I want what I want when I want it. And I didn't see anything wrong with that. I mean, most babies are like that anyway, and especially with her being like a middle child, or in between, because she got, her older brother and all the other kids after her. So she was kind of like in the middle, and they fight for attention and things like that. So I didn't really trip too much on things when she was a baby. But what I will say about her is she was smarter than the average child. Like the girl never had to study, she could just retain information. Like she was extremely smart. And I'm not saying that that is a sign of mental health or mental illness or anything like that. But it was just one thing about her. The girl was just really, really smart. She was so smart, like she was the one that you didn't have to worry about when it came to academics or anything like that because she just breezed by it. It was nothing for her. Like extremely smart. She was very driven. Like she knew, she did have a plan for herself. um oh, damn it, y'all, I ain't even 5 minutes into this thing and I ain't even get any tissue. Y'all know how I am with the ugly tissues. I didn't worry about her, so I didn't put a lot of attention into her as far as having to run up to the school behind her or anything like that because she had it. You didn't have to worry about that with her. I just knew she was going to be extremely successful. But one thing I did have an issue with her is she challenged me on every single thing I said. If I said India, it is The sky is blue. It's like a fight in an argument that the sky is green. Like it was a battle all of the time. Like it was always I have to prove I'm right and she's wrong. But I'm the parent. But we're in this battle all the time. Um, just I chopped it up to being just defiant, just defiant behavior. But when it came to her dad, it wasn't like that. She was a little more she was a little more receptive to him. I think maybe maybe girls, how they fear their dads a little bit more, whatever. But he didn't battle her the way I did. Like it was always something. It never failed. It was always something when it came to her. Um, she always challenged me and would stand firm to where we have had a couple fights, physical fights. Um, it was always something, right? I noticed that she was also extremely manipulative. She always found a way to have it her way. And maybe it was because, like I said, as a baby, the girl was the prettiest little thing. And maybe some of that beauty uh helped her with the manipulative stuff, or maybe I was just tired, I don't know. But she knew how to finagle her way to do the things that she wanted to do. Um, and she always lied. Like you can literally catch her in a bald faced lie. And she would argue you down that this wasn't a lie. And in her mind, what she said or what she thought was the gospel. It was the truth. But you're like, that's a lie. And she did it all the way up until she got in trouble. It was always a lie. Nothing was true. It was always a lie, and it was always manipulative behavior. Um, when she didn't get her way, she would find a way to do what she wanted to do regardless. It's so funny because my downstairs windows are still nailed shut because this girl would sneak out this house. Now and I'm not saying I'm balling, and I'm not saying, I'm in the biggest house and all that, but this is a nice size home. Their bedrooms were upstairs. This girl climbed out her bedroom window and shimmied down the siding of the house. That means you just slid down, landed on the balcony, and ran in the dark. Like, because she wanted to do what she wanted to do. It did not, I could set alarms up in here. It didn't matter. And then it got to where she was so bold that she started to sneak out the front window. Like, climb out the front window. Like, like a burglar sneaking out the house. Like she would climb out the front window just to do what she wanted to do. Like she would be so focused. And oftentimes it was behind a boy. And one thing about her is when she had a boyfriend, she was loyal to him, but not to the family. He was first. His feelings were first. Everything about him was first. And when she was younger, she was not a promiscuous girl, but she always had a boyfriend. Like she sought a lot of attention. She sought a lot of attention. And, like I said, y'all, I don't know if these behaviors are true signs, but when you sneaking out your mama's front window, I mean, come on now, your mom is the police. Like, you sneaking out your mama's front window? I had to nail them shut to keep her in. She had a boy living in my closet for like 3 weeks, and I didn't even know he was there. She almost got him killed. She almost had the boy shot. Like, it was always a defiant thing. Like, it was always going against the grain. It was And of course she's not the first child, she's number 5 on the list. So of course you have, teenage behavior, but this was the extreme. Like, it went to the extreme. When she had a boyfriend, she was very uh how can I say, crazy with the boyfriend. Like, one boy called me one time and told me he called the police on my daughter because he was trying to break up with her and she took bricks and threw them through his family's front window. So, like, she couldn't control the anger. Like, if it was like it's my way or no way, period. She could not control her anger. Um and it was just a trip because, like I said, I thought it was just defiant behavior, but it was more to it than that. It was not normal behavior. She became really, really disrespectful. Like, the anger, it was never controlled. She never could control the anger. Now, I mean, like I said, she's one of 5, and all my kids have been mad at me, mad at the world, mad at whatever. Snap back. But with her, that anger, it was like it wasn't going nowhere. It was stubborn with it. It was like, I ain't breaking, I ain't budging, period. But then turn around and ask me for something. Like, it was just a lot of, when I sit back and I look and I think, maybe I should have sought uh counseling service for her. But I didn't think about it. I mean, we did counseling as a family, just because, I was working so much. I was in and out. I was always gone, and they were kind of raising themselves. And so when I was back, it was a lot of, y'all looking at me like, who is you, lady? I'm who, and I'm like, I'm the mama, and they're looking at me like, we ain't got no mama, she ain't work. So I brought family counseling just to kind of learn how to function more with the family. And, so we did a family thing. But even in that, she wanted to bring her boyfriend. She wanted to include him, and he ain't even a part of our family. And it was loyalty other places, but she was so stubborn. Like, I couldn't break that girl no matter what. And I also noticed she kept herself up very well. Like, in the beginning, she kept her appearance up very well. Her hair was always done, her lashes, her eyebrows, she had tons of makeup. For she went through a period of time where she wore makeup like all the time. Her appearance, her clothes, like everything was up to par. As she started to decline, all that went away. Of course, you wouldn't recognize her today. But she kept her appearance up. But it was something about her bedroom. So once again, I ain't in no mansion or nothing crazy like that. But all my kids were able to have their own bedroom. And in her room, it was like filth. Not just messy, not just junky, but filth. And it was filth everywhere she went. You can tell she's been here because it was in, I don't know what that would like. I had never seen it like the other kids. Of course, they were messy, clothes, whatever, things like that. But this was filth. And it was so bad that, I would go in there and, demand that she cleans that room, and she would begin but would stop and she never could complete the cleaning her room. Now, she did chores. They were all on the chore chart. She did the chores. And she wasn't that bad at them. She would clean the bathroom when I asked her to. But that bedroom, it was maybe because it was her space in my house when I pay my mortgage. But it was so filthy that she couldn't clean it. It was like something telling her not to clean it. I also noticed before she was diagnosed, I found these notebooks. And in these notebooks, she was writing raps, I guess. She had this thing about Nicki Minaj. She loved her some Nicki Minaj. And these raps weren't making sense. They were, and this is a extremely smart girl who could put words together for writing assignments in school, but these raps were weird. They were alter ego-ish. They were um it was as if she was talking to herself, but not talking to herself because it was somebody else's name, and not like a rap name, like, I'm fancy fresh or whatever you want to call yourself. But it was weird. And I never used to really check their rooms and stuff like that. But when I found this, I guess, this is something that you all can look into, is make sure that you are checking in with these kids and looking at some of the stuff that they're doodling about. Or heck, they don't doodle no more, do they? So looking at their phones and them notes and things like that, and what they're what they're writing, because those were some clear signs right there that I had no clue. I had no clue. I had no clue. Um, as her illness started to progress, I noticed that she sought a lot of attention from men. Now it's several men. And I remember a time, she got to a point where she would accuse people of things that they didn't do. But in her mind, she believed it. In her mind, she believed it. And we believed it because, that's my child. Why would I not believe it? And she would always run to the police department and file reports on people. And this particular, we just knew this wasn't, it just didn't, that didn't add up. Now, she has been a victim of crime, and we know for certain that she's been a victim of crime. But prior to, um it was a lot of things that she was creating in her mind that just wasn't correct. This journey has probably been the most, um I don't know, y'all, craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I never I never saw this. As things got worse, the disrespect became even more severe. And this is why I tell people, this is why you see homeless people out on the street a lot who have mental illness, because families, we can't take it. You try to, because it's your loved one, but it gets to a point where you can't really handle it, especially when it's your child and you're being disrespected to the utmost. Oh, and don't mess around and have other kids who are watching this, because then they want to start doing. That's one thing I do remember also. Like when all the bad things that she was doing, my next daughter, one of my twins, she started to do it. But the thing about her is I could put my foot in her neck and she was good. The thing about India, I could put my foot in her neck and it didn't matter because she's ready to put her foot in mine. So it was her behavior was projecting off on the others. Um, but this thing right here is hard because it's your loved one, it's your kid. And it got to a point where, y'all know, I'm in law enforcement. We don't do no weed around here. Now, whatever y'all do in YouTube land, is what y'all do, and that's fine because you grown, you do you. But over here at this location, we don't do things like that. And you know, as teenagers, of course, they experience with stuff, whatever. And when you get caught, it's like, oh shucks, I was caught. I can't do this up in my mama house no more. But not her. She's caught, and her remedy to that is I'm just gonna shut my door, put a towel by the door, and I'm just gonna smoke out my window. Well, no, because I got a nose like a, like a aardvark. Is that what the animal is called? Like I can sniff it out because I don't entertain that. And so I would, have to kick open my own door in her bedroom and, go off. But you keep doing it. It's like, okay, mama caught me one time. All right, I ain't gonna do it again. Well, let me try it one more time. Okay, mama caught me twice. All right, I ain't gonna do it. Well, I'm just gonna try to sneak outside and do it, and mama catch me again. But it's at a point where you just won't stop. You won't stop. It's like I don't care what you say. I, that's how I felt. I don't care. I'm gonna do me. Bump your feelings, bump your rules. I'm gonna do me. To where I'm so upset with it. I am going off on a regular because I'm so angry with it. But for some reason for her, it's like this is just normal. It's normal behavior. So those are the disrespect. It got so bad that girl lit a blunt off my gas stove. I thought I was gonna kill her that day. I didn't mean to say that on the YouTube. I'm sorry, because they'll shut you down for certain words. I was going to put my foot all up through her tail that day. I was so angry when she did that. Like it was like it was crazy, y'all. It was hard. And I never realized that and I even pulled up some information about mental illness and some signs just to let you all know I this is what I was dealing with. As it progressed, she started to have confused thinking. Like the smart girl that we had, her thought process is all over the place. Like I was telling you all about the notes that she was writing, the raps that she was writing, the things that she was talking about. Just it was just all over the place. It was all over the place. Um, Prolonged sadness and irritability. Yes, she would cry for no reason. And she was irritable all the time. It's like you could not say you had to walk on eggshells with her. How are you the child and I'm walking on eggshells talking to you because I just don't feel like having this fight. I've been at work, I'm tired. I got other kids I'm dealing with. I got, taking this kid here and there and things like that. Got to cook. And you're walking on eggshells because the first thing that you say, and she's in it wrong, it turns into a big explosion. Um, Excessive tears, worries, and anxieties. The only thing I think the worrying, the anxiety, the worrying, I know that she worried about being able to go to school. Like that was a thing for her. She wanted to go to school, but her mind was not allowing her to sit through school. I remember on one occasion, and I was just sharing this with the people from the magazine. On one occasion, she was attending Georgia State, and that girl worked in the administrative office. I'm sorry, admissions office. So she was there every single day for a whole semester. She's at Georgia State. And she had some books because back then they let y'all get books. And she needed to return these books. We were getting these letters about you need to return these books, you're going to get fined, blah, 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 blah. So we go up to take her to the school, and she's walking like blind around the school on where to drop off these books. And I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, girl, go drop them books off so we can go. And she's walking with these books. And she's just walking around. And I'm watching her just wander around the campus with these books. And then I walk up and I'm like, what? I walk up and there's a drop box like right there, right in the front of the school. Now you work in admissions, you on this campus every day. How you don't see that drop box? Like she literally was in a confused state walking around with these books. Still undiagnosed because I'm just like the girl need to stop smoking weed. That's all I'm thinking. Maybe you just need to stop smoking weed. But it's more to it than that. It was more to it. And these are things that I didn't know. I just didn't know. Socially withdrawal. Now, she had three best friends in high school, three young ladies that she was with 24/7. And then there was one boy that hung out with them all the time, 24/7, all the time. When they graduated, everyone was doing their college thing and whatever. And she literally just fell off. She did not keep any friends. None. She focused on a boyfriend maybe, but never any friends. Like she cut everybody off and all she did was focus on this here. That was it. She was on this thing 24/7. Instagram, Facebook, 24/7. She withdrew herself from her people. I don't even know if they know what's going on with her, to be honest. And if I were to have talked to them, they probably would tell me some things that was concerning to them, but we just didn't know that's what it was. Changes in eating and sleeping. She would go on binges where she would eat like junk food all the time. That was another thing that was always stored in that room. That girl would eat Vienna sausage. Like it was uh I don't know, filet mignon. Like more food in her room, but then all of a sudden stop eating and start taking all these diet pills and things to try to lose weight. She never slept. That says sleeping habits. She never slept. Never. She would be up all day, all night, all day, all night. Had no idea that this was a sign of a mental health condition. Strange thoughts. I know them thoughts were strange because she was writing them down in notebooks. Seeing and hearing things. So this is what I've noticed after the diagnosis. Of course, she's making up things about people. She is arguing with voices, arguing like in the bathroom, having a whole argument with. She would be screaming, "Leave me alone! Leave me alone!" We're like, "Who the hell is she talking to?" You know. Um, she was always hearing things. Um, she could not cope daily. So growing inability to cope with daily problems. She could not cope with daily problems. Um, she just couldn't. It was just like she just couldn't. Suicidal thoughts, I don't know much of. I think one time when we did start looking into the first time we took her to the hospital, she did mention to the doctor that she thought about harming herself. Um, but she never really spoke about suicidal thoughts like on a regular, like she always wanted to harm herself. So I never really saw anything like cutting or anything like that. I'm not saying she never did it, I just never really saw it. Substance abuse. So, yes. So the substance abuse really, and I know some of y'all think that, the good green from the earth is not a substance, but, it is because things are put on that to make it more potent. And that potency don't work for everybody. And for some reason for her, she felt that it did work for her, but it didn't. It made her worse. It put her in a psychosis state all of the time. Feelings of extreme highs and lows. Ooh, yes, she had plenty of plenty of highs and lows. Um, one minute she's walking around here. Good morning. How's your day? Oh, mommy, I just love you. Then it is, what are you looking at? What do you want? Why are you talking to me? Just stop talking to me. Just and it would be an argument with everyone in the house just for nothing. It was just crazy, y'all. It was just a lot. Um I just wanted to just come on and just share some things that were happening in my life. Then hopefully, you know, um maybe when you all are still out here raising these kids, or your grandkids or whatever, and you start noticing certain behaviors, act on them. Even if it's nothing, even if it is just typical teenage behavior, act on it. It's easier to deal with it, or it's better to deal with it when they're young. So that way, when they're older, and if they're experiencing things, they would already know or have an idea of what it is they're dealing with, and maybe not be ashamed of it. See, my daughter was ashamed of her mental illness. She thinks that it's wrong to have mental illness. So she doesn't, to this day, she don't believe that anything is wrong with her. Um, and that's why it took so long to get help and to get her treated. She actually had to get in a situation to get help. I think that I think that if you are able to recognize, damn it, y'all, this never fails, right? I think that if you are able to recognize signs of mental health and mental illness and deal with it, this is the bad part about the live, because I can't edit this. I can't edit this part. I think that if you are able to recognize the signs and deal with it early on, that you have an opportunity to not experience what I'm experiencing. I think that if I had the knowledge back then, that there's a very strong possibility I wouldn't be where I am now. And so that's why I do this. I did not want to do this type of show. As y'all know, as I've said several times, I just wanted to be Wendy Williams and be on here and talk mess, and I just wanted to be on here and talk mess and have fun and laugh and joke and be messy, y'all. Like them housewives girls and them basketball, them all them, and just have fun and laugh. That's all I wanted to do, because those of you that know me know I cuts up, I cuts a fool. I'm always joking, laughing. I'm always doing all that because that's me. But God wouldn't let me be Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams squared. He would not let me be her. He gave me these visions that I would talk about mental health and mental illness. I fought it and I fought it and I fought it. I did not want to do this. Some days I still don't want to do this, but this is what God planned for me. And so I'm here, and I am so sorry for being gone for so long. But I'm back, and I hope that you all continue to watch and continue to encourage one another and to continue to encourage me. Because this is the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my life. That Mama Bear, you know how Mama Bears are, honey. We don't play about our kids. And when one of them is in a situation that you can't get them out of, baby, this is a tough one. And so it forces you to lean on your faith, because that's all you got. That's all I got. That's how I feel. That's all I have is my faith, and the faith that this is God's plan, and He knows what He's doing. And so I am going to continue with my platform. I'm going to continue to talk to whoever wants to listen. I'm going to continue to allow you all to come on and share in hopes of saving other people, helping other people, educating other people. Just y'all, that's the goal. That's all I'm trying to do. Those of you that popped on, I do appreciate it. I do got just a couple of comments. I got one because I looked up when I saw her this evening. So she said, I'm cute. Thank you. Because I had to pull it together. And the lady and son is giving me hugs, and I'm hugging you back. And thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, we rolling. We don't have an episode next week. We have one the following week, which is the 15th. I'm excited about this. This is a lot of information and knowledge that I think you guys can learn from. This girl right here, she's PhD and doing all this research, and I think that she has a different take on how some of our kids are diagnosed, which is important. Because when, like I said, now that I'm giving you some of the signs that I missed, or didn't know that's what I was dealing with, and you want to go in and start getting them treatment, you want to know what these doctors are doing and looking at, and not just giving you some drugs and sending you on your way and making your kid, a science experiment, because, they quick to push the medication, right? So this lady that I have on the 15th, Jennifer, she is going to educate you all on different diagnoses and how these diagnoses come about, and not to just accept any and everything that these doctors tell you. My holistic people, they are already clear on this, but I want everybody to be clear on this too. So, and of course, my girl Malika, she giving me some hearts. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I look forward to it. I hope you guys hang in here with me. I appreciate it. And we're not going to do the whole hour because I ain't got much more to talk about. I don't have much more to talk about. So, y'all got a good 43 minutes out of me. And I appreciate you guys. You all know that if you would like to be a guest on the show, that I would love to have you. You can reach me on all of my social media platforms, Mission for Mental Health. You can email me, text me, call me, tell a friend to tell a friend. Do what you need to do. It doesn't matter. Just let me know that you want to be a guest on the show, and we will talk about it and see how you can benefit this community. Also, y'all know the housekeeping rules. I need you to subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. Y'all know how that thing goes. Y'all watch enough YouTube and podcasts and things like that to know the rules. So I'll have this also on Anchor FM for those of you that are like, you know what, we don't feel like watching because we're driving or whatever the case may be, and we just want to listen. Tune into Anchor FM, and you can catch me on however you listen to your podcast. I love y'all. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and you be safe and have a good one. Bye-bye.